Let's make some pork chop. This week I have breaded pork chops on the menu for tonight and pork chops in gravy for tomorrow night. I'm curious, do you buy pre-cut pork chops or do you cut your own? First things first, always make sure that your work area is nice and clean, which I have done. And I gotta scoot this down clearly, you know, it's not fitting on the cutting board. And I got my favorite knife. Let's get to it. Okay, I have 10 pork chops here for tonight. I'm gonna bread those. I've got 10 here in this baggie. This is gonna be for tomorrow. These are gonna be in gravy. And then I have 7 pork chops here that I will make at a later date. And I think I'll make rice with them. How I'm gonna cook those yet, I'm not sure. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, we are going to dump a can of pineapple into this bag of pork chops that I will make our pineapple rice for to pair with it. We're gonna add a little garlic salt to this as well. And some black pepper. And then we'll just get that all mixed up and set that in the fridge for this weekend. It's gonna be so good. I just preheated the oven to 375. I am using the roast setting on my oven. All right, we are gonna season these pork chops that are for tomorrow. That will be in the gravy. We are going to do some steak seasoning and some garlic salt and our absolutely favorite seasoning. As always, measure with your heart. Now we're going to seal it up and mix it up and stick it in the fridge for tomorrow. We got our farm fresh butt nuggets. Oh, we have one that's broke. It froze. Well, all right then. We're going to get these cracked and into here. All right, we're gonna get these scrambled up and coat our pork chops. Also, we have a bucket that we use for scraps to give our chickens, and they will get these with some other yumminess. All right, now we're just gonna get them all coated. And we'll let it sit in there for a little bit while we get our breading mixture together. We have some kind of stale-ish chips that I'm going to crush up and use that in with our breading mixture. I crushed the chips by hand. Now I'm going to crush some fried onions, get that in there, and then we're going to add some panko breadcrumbs. All right, we got our onions crushed up, and now we're going to add some panko. I'm not measuring. I'm just using this to scoop and make it easier. Just kind of guess. Do about as much as you think you're going to need to cover your pork chops. All right, let's get our favorite seasoning in here. And since we have the chips in there, those are salty, so we don't need to add any extra salt. But we're going to add some of this. You know what time it is. Mixy, mixy. All right, she's good and mixed. Let's get these bad boys breaded. All right, let's do this. One hand for the wet, one hand for the dry. Keeps your hands a lot cleaner. And I like to pat it in there. Make sure it sticks real good. Pork chops are all breaded and ready to go, and you do not need to spray the pan. Oh, I don't need to anyways. And then we've got pierogies, and then we're gonna make some cheesy green beans too. All right, we're gonna pop these in the oven. One on the top, one on the bottom, and then we will rotate these later. We're gonna stick the pork chops right in the middle. Ooh, that was tricky with one hand. All right. And we will do this for about 20 minutes and then we'll rotate them. Per their request, we're gonna have some cheesy green beans. And strain your beans. You're doing 4 cans because they're piggies. Get yourself some butter and put it in the pan. Usually we get the big box of Velveeta, but this is all Dollar General has, so that's what we're gonna do. And yes, we're using that whole block of Velveeta. Drop your cheese. And let's turn this on. We gotta get this all good and melted and then we'll add our beans. Also, I already rotated the pierogies. How much cheese and butter you use is by personal preference. It all depends on how much cheesy goodness you want. We like the cheese. Okay, everything is looking done. So we are going to just turn the oven off and leave that sitting there because our beans are not quite ready. All right, our cheese is almost the consistency that we want. And our pierogies are all on one pan and ready to eat. We gotta take these out yet. All right, our cheese is the right consistency. And we turned her down to low. Now we need the beans. Now my assistant will carefully pour these into the pan. I said carefully. No. We might have, should have used a bigger kettle, but they're all dirty and nobody wanted to wash dishes. You know what time it is. Mixy, mixy. Do not salt these. The Velveeta is salty enough. And depending on what kind of butter you use, that's going to have more salt. If you want to add pepper, go ahead and add pepper. But I don't like pepper, so it's as good as it gets. Ooh, looks delicious. What's your favorite thing to dip your pierogies in? Sometimes we like ranch. I also like dipping in the cheese sauce. All right, let's dig in. Delicious. Enjoy.